Alrighty, back at it with Duelist Kingdom action, and this one is a real top of the table clash. Kaiba taking on Bandit Keith, and the winner of this could almost finish first. Which, it's really something because Keith actually started off the tournament quite poorly. If he did a little bit better in his first early rounds, Keith would actually be on top. However, that wasn't the case. Alright, Kaiba has won rock, paper, scissors and elects to go first. And, oh, that's not a fantastic starting hand. That's not a good starting hand at all for Kaiba. He's got negate attack, so he can at least pass a turn. He's got reinforcements there as well. Alright, what does Keith have here? He has started off with Yugioh Robo. It's a mediocre sort of machine type, but goes in for a direct attack. Kaiba elects not to use negate attack, taking the 1000 points damage instead. That means if Kaiba gets a level 4 or lower monster, as in Ryukushin for example, he can... What Kaiba can do here is use negate attack to protect Ryukushin and then summon Judge Man on the next turn. Alright, Keith now 6 cards in hand. And, throws down Robotic Knight. It's a good card, but Ryukushin here will be protected. Up goes negate attack. That will end Keith's battle phase, and Kaiba next will be able to summon Judge Man, and he can even put Invigoration on Judge Man if he chooses to as well. It is an Earth monster. And there we go, the Judge Man is summoned, and Kaiba indeed does. Plays Invigoration onto Judge Man. Invigoration came in Kaiba's real world starter deck, that's why it's there, and reinforcements have gone down as well, so Judge Man potentially at 3100 if reinforcements is active for a turn. So both players at 7,000 points, we should see a good match between them. Alright, 6 cards for Keith. And Keith goes for a tribute. He tributes Yugioh Robo and summons Pendulum Machine. And what is Keith up to here? Oh, limiter removal. How about that? Now, even if reinforcements is activated, that won't be enough for Judge Man to actually get over Pendulum Machine. Pendulum Machine now is at 3,500. For Keith to play limiter removal that early, he must have a really bad hand, because he wouldn't throw that card away so early. Limiter removal is such a dangerous card for a machine deck. Pendulum Machine is gone. And Kaiba has just drawn the Blackland Fire Dragon. Down that goes at 1,500. Reinforcements is still on the field as well. Alright, Keith down to 5,500. Kaiba's still sitting comfortable at 6,100, but you would say field advantage Kaiba for the moment. Now, has Keith got anything back here? He's still got 5 cards in hand. Alright, he throws one face down and plays the Brave Scissor, which again is only 1,300. Keith's put it in attack mode, so he's likely got a trap card here. Otherwise he wouldn't be so confident. Unless he's trying to bluff Kaiba here, but... And look at that, Kaiba's not having any of it. He's laid down the dragon dwelling in the cave. Alright, aims for Brave Scissor with Blackland Fire Dragon. What does Keith have? He must have something, and there it is, Metalmorph. That'll put Brave Scissor to 1,600. Unfortunately for Keith, it is all going to be in vain because reinforcements is still down on the field. So 2,000 for Blackland Fire Dragon will just be for this turn, but Brave Scissor is now destroyed. And 1,300 more off Keith, he'll be down to 3,800. And Kaiba still at 6,100. He's got that Flute of Summoning Dragon there as well. If he gets a Lord of D and another dragon, it could be all over for Bandit Keith. And I just have the pop-up. Oh, dark hole from Keith. I was just about to say, I got another pop-up again. The Sims 4 Life and Death is available now. So that's because I have The Sims 4 on this laptop and it likes to give me pop-ups every now and then. Gigatech Wolf has come to the field. And 4,900 against 3,800. It's a close match right now, and Kaiba is out of cards in his hand that he can play for this turn. He is going to be defenseless for this turn. That is terrible for Kaiba. And Keith, wow, doesn't play anything else. He's thrown down Gigatech Wolf. If Kaiba can get rid of Gigatech Wolf, it's likely that Keith won't have anything else to play. Almost equal on life points. Oh, and a clutch draw, Ryukish empowered. At 1,600, it's going to get over Gigatech Wolf. It's only a 1,200. Oh, this is classic old school Yu-Gi-Oh at its best right now. 3,400 plays 3,700, and I mean it could still be anyone's match. What does Keith draw on this turn? Keith, oh, it's Mechanical Chaser, or Mechanical Chaser, sorry. Mechanical Chaser sounds more correct. It's an 1850 attack, and it gets rid of Ryukish empowered. 3450 plays 3,400. They're neck and neck on life points, but... Oh, and Kaiba has just drawn a Shadow Spell. Maybe one of the very few cards that can actually help him here as well. He played that to capture the Blue Eyes Toon Dragon in his match against Pegasus in the anime. And Keith, oh, he throws down Patrol Robo as well. So Kaiba will take some damage here, but Kaiba though does have that Shadow Spell. He's going to trap Mechanical Chaser here. Mechanical Chaser will lose quite a bit of attack points as well. But Kaiba's going to have to get lucky with his monster draw. He needs either a Battle Ox or a Mystic Horseman could do it. What else does he have? Oh, there's one. Lejin, the Mystical Genie of the Lamp. At 1,800, Mechanical Chaser is still pinned by that Shadow Spell. And it is a better decision for Kaiba to go after Mechanical Chaser, just in case Keith draws a Remove Trap, as you see in Kaiba's hand. Alright, turn change for Keith, 2350 against 2750. They're playing an absolute classic here. Patrol Robo to defense mode, and defense mode again for Keith. A face down one as well. What do you do if you Kaiba here? There's Castle Walls. And Kaiba's gone for it. He's going to tribute Lejin, the Mystical Genie. He's going to throw down the Swordstalker at 2,000 attack. And Keith goes for the face down, and it is Hologra. Only a weaker monster, but Keith putting up some defense, putting up some resistance here, trying to stay in this one. It's a very close match. 4 cards in hand now for Keith. What does he have for response? Oh, straight to his end phase. Chooses not to play anything. And oh, there's stop defense for Kaiba, who doesn't even think about it, throws it straight down. So Patrol Robo is going to cost Keith some points here. It's going to be 900 in total. That's going to leave him with 1,850. 2350 plays 1,850. 500 points between them. It's been a neck and neck match. 22 turns. Keith again throws down a defense. It looks like it could be that Keith only has high level monsters from here as well. Even if he did, he would have sacrificed one. It's hard when we see 4 cards, but they're not being played, and we just wonder what is in that hand. Alright, Keith. Ooh, it was Golgoyle that he put down. I mean, it could be that Keith has a 7-star monster where he needs 2 tributes. He could also have Zero in his hand as well, for example. He's got a few cards that can clog up his hand, if that makes sense. Oh, there's Fissure. There goes Grappler. And a face down spell or trap for Keith, along with another one. So it looks like Keith may be done on this one. There's Blue Eyes White Dragon, but it may be all but too little too late for Keith. Swordstalker in for the attack, and Keith is done for this first round. What a match that was. Great opening match. Now, Kaiba's only got to win one more. Keith will have to win 2 in a row. It is their last match, and they are both pretty much playing for top spot here as well. So, they're going to be both called back to the lobby again now. Ugh. And Steel Shell card for this match. Alright, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. There we are. Keith wins rock, paper, scissors and elects to go first. You always have that little bit of an advantage going first. And okay, Keith has drawn an entire handful of monsters. It's not always the best start when this happens. Keith does have first turn. Oh, there he goes. And finally, Keith sets down a monster. You know, I can put a time limit on these duels. There is no time limit on them, but there is a setting in the options where I can actually put a time limit on, but I feel like that will... It's not like we're Yugi playing against a VCR against Pegasus. Alright, Ryukushin is played from Kaiba. Generally a good starting card for him, although Robotic Knight does have 1800 defense. Now, Kaiba has played a face down. Keith has got Guardian of the Throne Room, that's a 1650. And there's Disc Magician, so Keith has drawn a full monster hand here, which isn't always the best way to start a match, but... Alright, Keith's got to go for it here. 1650, he has to win. And switches Robotic Knight into attack mode as well. Alright, Guardian of the Throne Room in for the attack. Does Kaiba have... Oh, he's got reinforcements. So 450 will come off Keith here. Ryukushin powered at 2100. It'll only be for a turn though. Robotic Knight and Ryukushin will be matched. Both at 1600. So there's a bit of a dicey start for Keith. He hasn't got a great hand. And what does Kaiba have here? He throws down the mighty Hitotsu-Mi Giant. And Ryukushin powered will elect to attack, removing Robotic Knight from the field as well, just leaving Hitotsu-Mi Giant. 1200 off Keith. Now Keith can counter attack from here. Alright, there's Gig Attack Wolf. Now Keith has got Disc Magician, he's got Ground Attack of Bugroth, that's 1500. He's also got a Golgoyle with 1600 defense as well, I guess, if Kaiba does have something like a... well, then again, Battleox is 1700. Kaiba wouldn't have a lot with 1500 or more. He's got the Blackland Fire Dragon stalking around in his deck somewhere. End phase. Alright, we'll turn change back to Kaiba. He's now got 5 cards in hand. Alright, Kaiba throws down a defense and goes to his end phase. Okay, Keith maybe with the chance to counterattack here. There's Hologra. Alright, Keith has elected to set Golgoyle. So he hasn't played Disc Magician. It's a 1600 defense. Keith may be anticipating that he might be able to draw a stronger monster. However, Mystic Horseman was the defensive card. It's a 1550. So Ground Attack of Bugroth couldn't get through that. Alright, what's Kaiba got in for a response on this turn? 5 cards in hand. Can he tribute? Can he... No. Okay, Kaiba electing not to play anything, just elects to skip his turn. Keith has drawn a trap hole. So that could be bad for Kaiba in the future. And Keith himself also decides to pass turn. Alright, back to Kaiba. 6 in hand now. And, oh, Lord of D. Alright, so Keith has no choice. He flips up the trap hole. And if Kaiba's summoning down Lord of D like that, you can probably put your house on that. He has a Flute of Summoning Dragon and possibly a Blue Eyes. He couldn't chance that. He had absolutely no choice other than to play that trap hole. And Keith has just drawn Launcher Spider. It's a 2200, 2500 defense as well. And this is great for Keith now. He's got rid of Lord of D. And Keith now has the advantage with 2200 on the field. There goes Mystic Horseman. Keith could be in this one. Because it looks like that Kaiba waited. He must not have too much in his hand to play. With Lord of D being summoned, what we're going to do from here, if you're looking from Keith's perspective, you might as well assume Kaiba, he didn't play anything at all. We're probably going to assume that Kaiba is holding a Flute of Summoning Dragon and a Blue Eyes. He could possibly be holding 2 Blue Eyes even. But he must be holding high level monsters. So let's say he's got 2 Blue Eyes and a Flute of Summoning Dragon. That's half his hand. He could also have... Oh, there we go. He's finally played something down. And now a face down defense. That's very, very interesting from Kaiba. If he's had a face down defense, why has he held it? He would have held it for a reason. I wonder what that face down could be. Could it be a... could it be his negate attack, maybe? Alright, Launcher Spider in for the attack. And, oh, no, it's just desserts. 1500 off Keith. He's down to 4800. And, oh, it's Sagi the Dark Clown. Well, that's not a throwaway monster. That's one of Kaiba's... He's only got 2 monsters that he can play that Crush card with, and that's one of them. Ryukishin's the other. It looks like that Kaiba might be done on this one. Oh, what I wouldn't give to be able to see his hand right now. I'm going to assume at least a Blue Eyes and a Flute of Summoning Dragon are in it. Kaiba goes with 2 face-down spells or traps, another face-down spell or trap. Got another face-down spell or trap. Oh my word, and a 5th. Alright, well, unfortunately we can't see what they are. Kaiba possibly has just drawn a complete brick. Okay, one of them is Castle Walls. Kaiba, he must be done. He must be completely done. Alright, Machine Conversion Factory is equipped to Launcher Spider. Putting it at 2500 and Launcher Spider. Oh, he goes with Disc Magician. Wants to make it a complete 0 on the life points. Well, we'll never know what Kaiba had. Keith, though, has picked up the win. It's now 1-1. And the battle for... potentially the battle for top spot has come down to a tiebreaker game. We're going to look for Kaiba's perspective this time as well. Now, Mai's playing Weevil in the last match, and she herself is also top of the table. And the likelihood of Mai defeating Weevil is quite high. Although, you never know, Mokuba did beat Mai. Anything can happen in Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, Kaiba... Rock, paper, scissors, shoot as one, and Kaiba himself has picked to go first. Okay, Blue Eyes White Dragon. There's Grappler, there's also Lesser Dragon as well. That's an okay starting hand for Kaiba. He's also got Polymerization. Could you imagine if he draws 3 Blue Eyes and fuses them together to the Ultimate Dragon in his last match of the Duelist Kingdom season? Well, this is one of those big what-if games. What if Bandit Keith and Kaiba dueled? We never saw it in the anime. Keith himself has gone for a face down as well. Oh, there's Shadow Spell from Kaiba. Good card. And Kaiba summons the Lesser Dragon. It's only a 1200. And look at that, he flips up Grappler as well. So Kaiba may be hoping for an attack here. What is Keith's face down? It is... oh, it's Shovel Crusher. It's only a 1200. Kaiba made a good decision attacking with Grappler. And 1200 off Keith, 6800 for him, and we are likely going to be seeing a Blue Eyes White Dragon because even if Keith has something strong enough to attack with, Shadow Spell is going to activate. Keith, no, throws down a defense. And to the end phase, it would be a shame if Keith himself has drawn a brick. Oh, there's Flute of Summoning Dragon. Alright, Kaiba though, not wasting any time. Straight for that Blue Eyes White Dragon. He's also got a Dragon Treasure as well. And here we go. So Dragon Treasure can give another 300 to Blue Eyes. And Kaiba plays it. 3,300 for the Blue Eyes White Dragon right now. And Keith's face down is Blocker. Wow, Blocker would have protected him from Grappler. And that Lesser Dragon as well. That's one of Keith's better defensive monsters. 6,800 for Keith now. Now Kaiba has to hope that he doesn't lose that Blue Eyes, because if he does... Oh, Keith has used Mystical Space Typhoon and he's gone for the face down. Oh, and Fissure! Blue Eyes White Dragon destroyed. Kaiba has not got anything in his hand. And this could be really, really bad for Kaiba. It was a great play from Keith to use Mystical Space Typhoon. And then Fissure completely cleared Kaiba's field. And 1100 off Kaiba, 6,900 against 6,800. Kaiba. Oh, he's just drawn Lord of D. And he's got Flute of Summoning Dragon. Kaiba's got no choice. He has to get rid of Hologra. Now, because Keith played Hologra, it's likely that Keith doesn't have anything stronger. He would have to draw one from here. So Kaiba is just going to have to hold his breath and hope that Keith's drawn monster isn't anything strong. And it is. It's Ground Attacker Bugroth at 1,500. And Kaiba has just lost the Lord of D. That is absolutely tragic for Kaiba. Oh, wouldn't it be even more tragic if he drew a Blue Eyes right now? No, it's Unknown Warrior Fiend. Okay, maybe Kaiba's got 3 monsters. 3 monsters in his deck that can be used with Crush Card then. Unknown Warrior Fiend was another one that came from his starter deck. So that, Ryukushin and Sagi the Dark Clown would be his go-tos for that Crush Card. Kaiba's chances of winning here are being severely reduced. Ground Attacker Bugroth attacks, and Patrol Robo in for a direct attack. Kaiba down to 5,500. Keith at 6,700. Kaiba is going to need something special here. He's going to need a Battle Ox or a Lejin, or... There's Ryukushin, Speak of the Devil. Unfortunately, Kaiba doesn't have a Crush Card. Although, it would destroy Ground Attacker Bugroth. Not Patrol Robo. Alright, Patrol Robo just used its effect to get a sighting of Ryukushin. There's Mechanical Chaser. And this one is looking like it could be a Bandit Keith victory over Seto Kaiba himself. Ryukushin is destroyed. 15 and 18 together is 3250. Anyway, Kaiba, he is gone on the next turn unless he draws... It's Blackland Fire Dragon. And, Keith has Trap Hole. And that will do it. Seto Kaiba has been knocked off, would you believe it, by Bandit Keith. Keith has played well during the later part of the tournament. But my word, Seto Kaiba is beaten. Kaiba could have claimed top spot and he's dropped the ball. 1850 off. Bandit Keith takes this match 2-1. And that is an absolute shocker for Kaiba. He was very, very close. He only needed to win this match. And he could have claimed top spot. Now, I'm just going to pull up the brackets here. And yeah, Kaiba was on 10 wins. Keith was on 9. And because Keith has got the win here, there are now 4 players tied on top spot. Mai is one of them, and she has to play Weevil, and it's likely that she will beat Weevil. So Mai, with the matches that are left, Mai could be the standalone champion. Oh, what a close finish we got here. Even Mako was very close as well. And the Paradox brothers, they still got to play Pegasus. They could also go to 10 wins as well. What an ending to this tournament. Anyway, over in Battle City, we have got... it's Seeker going up against Bakura. So 2 players who have a win condition, one in Exodia and one in Destiny board. And Chaz and the Gravekeeper's also coming up later as well. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for leaving all the comments. Wherever you are in the world, stay safe, take care, farewell.